All right. We're in here. I'm here. You're here. We're here. We're here together. We might as well put on a show. I'm Tim Black, a.k.a. Tim the Bartender, and this is the Bar Stew Podcast. I am Tim Black. This is the show you've been waiting for. This is episode number 15. And I don't do shows like everybody else does shows, right? So like my shows have been controversial, they've been full of drama, but they've all been real. From the heart, because no one's paying me to have a certain type of opinion. I'm not doing this to please a network entity. I'm doing it for you and for I, right? So look, episode number 15, and I'm guaranteeing tonight's show will be just as controversial as the rest. For instance, one of the topics we're going to cover is Bill Cosby. Now, we know the allegations have increased. They've grown. They've become more in-depth. They've become more crucifying. And we're going to talk about them tonight. No punches pulled. No BS. No beating around the bush. Also, we're going to talk about Chris Rock. Because, see, Chris Rock's been he's been on a publicity tour promoting his new film. But Chris hasn't been talking about his film as much as he's been talking about society. Life as a black man in Hollywood, getting money, and what he sees going on in our nation. In the world, for that matter. So those are two topics we got to touch on. Oh, and I have a relationship tip tonight that is essential that you take advantage of. Now, it's for people in relationships, but if you're looking for a relationship, tonight's topic is going to be one that you want to fold up, put in your bag, put it in your pocket for later. Oh, it's that good. To start tonight's show, I'm going to get into a subject that you may have already heard of because it broke last week. It's the hacking of Sony Enterprises. Remember that? Now, people were saying that Kim Jong-un, I like saying Kim Jong-un. They were saying that he had something to do with the hacking. Now, they haven't been able to prove that, but the FBI is looking into that scenario. Now, in the beginning, it was just films that were being released. You know, Fury, the movie with Brad Pitt, Army Joint. I saw that. I heard it was good. The other one was Annie, okay? And a couple others that I've never heard of or whatever, right? So, first they were releasing movies. That was the low-hanging fruit. But now they started doing a deep dive into some of the other data, because we're talking about gigabytes of data that was stolen, right? Now they're getting to emails. Yeah, emails. And we're talking about Hollywood executives, private conversations with other Hollywood executives, people in power, people with money.
A series of racist emails between a Sony Pictures executive and one of Sony's top film producers prompted public apologies today. The subject of the messages, Barack Obama.
Private emails. One insider labels Adam Sandler boring. Another trashes Angelina Jolie as a spoiled brat. And then it gets ugly. In one exchange, Sony executive Amy Pascal writes to producer Scott Rudin about an upcoming event with Barack Obama. Pascal writes, "Should I ask him if he liked Django?" That's the film about a slave who fights back. Not to be outdone, Rudin emails 12 years, meaning 12 years a slave. They then rhyme off a list of films for making small talk with Obama, all of which star black actors. Both apologized today, said Rudin the emails were thoughtless and insensitive and not funny at all. Civil rights activist Al Sharpton said apologies aren't enough, as Sony may well be wondering what next from the hackers.
And send. Better be there when I get there, girl. Oh, my bad, I forgot. This is the part where I'm supposed to be offended, right? I'm supposed to be offended because some white people called Obama black. Maybe Obama, he might want to see 12 years a slave. Or maybe Obama might want to see Django. He probably does. He is black. He probably did see Django. Well, you know, I saw Django, and it's a very good film. I enjoyed the film. It was very interesting. I was just telling Michelle that Django, Jamie Foxx, who gives a shit? You know, but I guess this is supposed to be like an extremely racist statement to say. Just for the record, how much money did these two fucking Democrats give to the Democratic Party?
These are two people who supported Barack Obama. They gave him $40,000 to
75.
his campaign and to whatever the number. So this is a great way to show racism. Exercise, if indeed.
I mean, yeah, if you're going to be that big of a supporter.
There are a number of African Americans from Ferguson to Staten Island that would love that kind of racism.
Yeah.
Write me a $75,000 check and make fun about the movies I'd like to go see.
They gave Barack Obama $75,000. They can say whatever the hell they want to say. Now, come on, guys, look. It's just words. Obama sold his soul for much less than that. Come on. Sold his soul a long time ago. No one gets this far in politics without selling their soul. Come on. He's president. He's not a color. He's transparent. Sort of like the guy talking about him. That guy, high yellow. Like the shy lights. That high. He like Tom Joyner. Tom Joyner looks at this guy and goes, God damn, that guy's light skinned. Somewhere, Sinbad's like, damn, man. Get a tan. I'm joking, man. I'm joking. I'm being an asshole. Look, back to the point. All right. They were wrong. All right, fuck it. They were wrong. What they said is fucked up, okay? They were being condescending. They were being assholes. They were being themselves. So if you have a problem with them being themselves, see what I'm saying? Then you shouldn't have them associated with your campaign or with your party. But we don't control that, do we? We never know what people say behind closed doors. I'm sure some of you fuckheads have said some really horrible things about me. I don't want to fucking know what you got to say. I don't want to know that you said some nasty shit about me. That spear chucking big lip motherfucker. I don't want to know that shit. That's the way it should be. I want to go back to a time when you didn't know I called you a milk toast white crackerhead motherfucker, and I didn't know that you thought I was a no good low account nigga. I don't want to know this shit. I mean, I know it, but I don't want to know it. See, your innermost thinkings. See, that's what privacy is so important. Because what someone's innermost thinkings are, they may not always be what they really believe. It's like, you know, you're trying to be funny, you're not really good at it, or whatever the fuck. But yes, they're wrong. Back to this. I'm not trying to sidestep. Fuck sidestepping. I don't owe Hollywood nothing. They don't owe me shit. They haven't given me a job yet, but hey. Mazel tov. It goes to show you. It just goes to show you. As much as the media tries to paint the Republicans as racist, we got some racist Democrats. We got racist Democrats or Democrats who play fast and loose with racial sensitivity, like maybe some Republicans would do. I mean, this sounds like some shit Clive Bundy would say, doesn't it? Come on, admit it. This sounds like some shit Clive Bundy would say, but he didn't say it. They said it, and these are donors, big-time donors, Hollywood liberals. We need to calm down on this whole racist thing. The world is about to end. Everything is racially motivated. Yes, racism exists, but how big a deal is this really? I need help understanding. Where's the part where I'm supposed to be offended? I could go on and on about this because, you know, I'm a talker. But what does Obama think about it? Because this is his situation. I mean, they were talking about Obama.
You know, when you're dealing with something as deeply rooted as racism or bias in any society, you got to have vigilance, but you have to recognize that it's going to take some time and you just have to be steady.
So Obama kept it real. It's going to be a slow process. You know, this is deeply rooted. People have these thoughts in their heads. A lot of the thoughts that we have are based on bullshit. Not based in reality. We were raised around someone racist, or we were raised around an environment where people had thoughts, and that's what we developed following them. And you get old enough to realize that's some bullshit, and you move away from it. Some of us never do, right? But look, all I'm saying is that this political correctness has stolen our privacy, right? You can't. The only place you're safe is in your own head. But once it comes out your mouth, whether you write it, say it, sing it, you can sing it. You can sing nigga and lose your job. You can sing bitch and lose your job. You can sing faggot, lose your job. You can sing cracker and lose your job. At least they'll want you to. You can sing cracker and people will say it's okay for you to get shot. Ask Trayvon Martin. He won't answer back, and if he does, get yourself checked out. You need medication. So that's my thing, man. That's my point. This political correctness does nothing but force all the racists and all this shit to go underground, but it doesn't go anywhere. It just goes out of sight, and it gives you the false belief that we don't have shit to work on. It gives you the false belief that everything is cool. And meanwhile, when you walk away, they go, that motherfucker. It's like that joke where they say, when does a gay man become a faggot? As soon as he leaves the room. When does a black man become a nigger? As soon as he leaves the room. Get it? You get it. You don't want to get it, but you get it. Knowing that does not make you better. That's all. That's my point, man. From the Paula Deen to the Riley Coopers to the guy, the CEO for Centerplate, who kicked his dog. And I really didn't like that shit because I like dogs. I really didn't like that shit. But was that our business that he kicked his dog that time? I mean, you know, Ray Rice, was that really our business that him and his wife got drunk and he punched her? She hit her head on the elevator. Is that really our fucking business? None of this paparazzi bullshit is our fucking business. But now it's our business. I don't know if we've evolved, but it feels like we've devolved to a place where not even your private conversations are private. The only thing private you have are your privates. And that's not even private. Just ask Jennifer Lawrence or Gabrielle Union or Megan Good or Kate Upton or one of these. Ask one of these people who had all their personal shit exposed. They call it, they say we're moving forward, but I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes technology can take you back, set you back a couple places. All right, we're going to go on to the next one. I think I've said all I can say about this story, man, about this issue. I want to talk a little bit about my man, Chris Rock, because he's been making the rounds. He's been having a lot to say. Yeah. Yo, Chris. What up, baby? What up, Pookie?
Please welcome the always funny Chris Rock.
Chris Rock's not afraid to tell you exactly how he feels. For Vulture magazine, he went in on the interview and he made a lot of comments. Now, most recently, he tweeted something about the Eric Garner case, and he said this. He said, "It's horrible. It's on videotape. How much more can you say? I don't know what else you or I can do." And that's pretty much the resounding, like that's like everyone. You know, that's everybody feels that way about that particular situation, right? They asked Chris, they said, for all the current conversation about income inequality, class is still sort of the elephant in the room. And Chris said, "Oh, people don't even know. If poor people knew how rich people are, there would be riots in the streets. If the average person could see the Virgin Airlines first class lounge, they'd go, what? What? This is food and it's free." And they, what? Massage? Are you kidding me? You gotta be kidding. What? No, I'm joking. But that's what Chris said. And I'm just saying, Chris has really, he's taken this whole, not just his act, this is just speaking bluntly and plainly. Now, he's always done that in his stand-up stuff. But now I think he's at the top of his form. Chris even had the balls to talk about Bill Cosby, and he said this: "I don't know what to say. What do you say? I hope it's not true." That's all you can say. I really do. I grew up on Cosby. I love Cosby. And I just hope it's not true. It's a weird year for comedy. We lost Robin, we lost Joan, and we kind of lost Cosby. See how I hit that? Kind of lost Cosby. That's Chris Rock. I did see a piece. I bought a piece of Chris Rock on The Breakfast Club with Charlamagne the God.
How do you feel about law enforcement? Do you feel like white cops get off from killing black guys, or cops just get off from killing people?
I mean, here's the thing. Nothing I say is going to be new and revolutionary. Mm-hmm. So I like to not be boring. The real question is, how come no white guys ever get shot? That's
they do though.
Where?
Mobile, Alabama, it's a case where the black cop just didn't get indicted by the grand jury. He
It's
killed the
one,
18-year-old
though.
white kid.
It's not a common thing.
In Salt Lake City, a 20-year-old kid got killed in front of 7-Eleven by a black cop. They had the body cam and everything.
Okay. It doesn't appear to be that common.
I think it's the media, man.
You know.
I think the media is more concerned about narratives and not facts.
Hey, you know, Charlamagne said some things he shouldn't have said, didn't need to say, whatever. And then Chris said something here. Let me just play this part.
You know, we all got to change. They got to change. We got to change. You know, if you're driving down.
You did say we'll never see a black president.
If you're driving down like Fulton Street and there's a big hole in Fulton Street, or Fulton in DeKalb, Fulton in Fort Greene, you know, the first time you hit the hole, you call the city. Mm-hmm. But after a while, you know that hole's there. You should kind of avoid the hole at some point.
That's interesting.
And it's wrong that there's a hole there. Don't get me wrong.
I do live in
somebody just fix the street.
Hey.
Just so you know.
You're asking for like some, you know what I mean? But shouldn't you pay attention to the hole at some point?
Yeah, that's true.
See, that's what I'm talking about. And that's what I don't like about Charles Barkley, and I hate to bring him up. See, Chris, he recognizes that there is a personal responsibility that we should take. We know that cops be like a little trigger happy with us, right? We know how cops do that. That's a problem, right? But we also know that our behavior can intensify that. Now, when I first started this channel, I had a guy named Token White Guy. He was a really cool dude, man. And he was like trying to get me to make that be my main message. And I kind of pushed it back because, you know, I didn't want to sit here and tell brothers and sisters and Latinos too, because y'all get fucked up. I didn't want to tell you that this thing that's happening to you when you're the victim of police brutality or you get shot or whatever, right? That you need to just chill. Because I didn't feel like that was enough. But this is the thing, and that's why Chris put this so eloquently. It's not right that you have to be on your P's and Q's all the time. It's not right that you can't do the talk back. It's not right that you can't go, look, man, this stops today. It stops today. It's unfortunate that Eric Garner couldn't express himself like a white guy could express himself potentially in that same situation and not end up having a massive coronary because guys jump on you and tackle you and chokehold you. But that's the reality of what we're dealing with. So Chris saying, look, man, that's reality. You got to accept reality and act accordingly. It's not okay. See, that's what I don't like about Charles Barkley, because Charles never acknowledges that the reality that we got to deal with is not okay and it's not all our doing. Him, Benjamin Carson, these fuckheads, these conservatives, they never acknowledge that the plight, the situation is not fair. You should not, a 12-year-old Tim Rice should be able to point his gun and play around like kids do at 12. The fact that there are grown adults saying a 12-year-old child should know better and he's a thug at 12 because he's playing guns as if when they were coming up, they didn't point the play gun around too at people and joke around to see if they can get a reaction. But the fact that they see that 12-year-old as a grown-ass man because he's African, you can't tell me it's not because he's African-American. But you can't say, son, I don't want you doing that because you might get shot. I don't want you doing that because you're putting yourself in harm's way. So you can say, be responsible. This shit ain't right that we're dealing with. Be responsible because I need you here. Those two things can exist in the same message, but I never see that existence, right? When I'm listening to a Charles Barkley or a Benjamin Carson, all right? Or Herman Cain, and that's why I wouldn't fucking vote for him, okay? But anyway, so let me give you some more Chris Rock, because he has a part where he screws Charlemagne the God. Real quick about Django. I thought that was very interesting.
Why do you like Steve McQueen so much?
Oh, you see 12 Years a Slave? It's amazing.
I got tired of slave movies, man. I couldn't see it. I'm like,
no, this is the best. No, this is the best slave movie of all time.
I think Django's the best slave movie of all time.
No, you didn't even see. You can't judge.
He's Charlemagne the God. He can say anything.
Django was close to Nat Turner. I like Django burning down the plantation and stuff.
No, Django was nothing like Nat Turner.
The closest thing we'll see in a movie.
Nat Turner could read. Nat Turner was like spoke different languages. Nat Turner was a slave taught by a nice massa that knew how to read and was like smarter. And Nat Turner was a reverend.
But he kicked your ass.
Nat Turner organized all the slaves. Nat Turner, Django was
trying to save his women.
Compared to, Django's nothing compared to Nat Turner.
So if they were rappers, who would they be?
I'm just saying, Nat Turner was like an unbelievable slave, right? And then Nat Turner got sold. His master went broke, so he got sold to this other guy, and now he's getting treated like an actual slave. Nat Turner actually did not like at first, and then he thought he was superior, and he got sold to another family. They treat him like a slave, and then he organized the slaves and killed everything. Mm-hmm. Django has nothing to do with Nat Turner.
He's like, yeah, like, listen and learn. But no, Charlemagne, he's a young guy. He should not be above learning something. But some of the conservative talking points, man, you need to really chill on them. And some of the liberal ones, too, people need to chill on, too. But we can do both. And here's one other point I want to make before I move on to Bill Cosby, right? I don't know if you caught Real Time with Bill Maher when he had Wendell Pierce from The Wire. Ray Donovan. He's on Ray Donovan. I like him on Ray Donovan as well. Anyway, he was on Bill Maher, and he said this.
The fact is, while we have this very comfortable colloquial debate about it, when the lights go out and I go out in the street and I get behind the wheel of my car, the most dangerous moment I ever have in my life is when a police officer pulls me over. Every black man in America knows that when that happens, there's actually a possibility his life may come to an end, and that shouldn't happen. That white America has to understand that Wendell Allen in New Orleans, Mr. Garner in Staten Island, Michael Brown in Ohio is a constant all over this country. And if we're gonna sit here and pretend that we are post-racial, you have to realize that I can't afford for your belief or denial that my life isn't in danger.
Okay.
So you may have never heard that clip before, but you've heard Charles Barkley go on and on and on and on because they give him a microphone. But when I go to the store, I still have to worry about what kind of hat I wear because I do not want to raise suspicion with the feds. If I wear a baseball cap at night, they think I'm a thug. If I wear a skull cap at night, they think I'm a thug. So I end up having to put on a wool fedora. Do you have those type of problems, sir? Do you? Do you? But I know my reality. So when you try to tell me my reality isn't reality, I know you on some bullshit. Or you're just ignorant and you have no call or reference. You don't know that I have to do that. And you'll say, Tim, you shouldn't have to do that. And you goddamn right I shouldn't have to do that. But I did a video last week, my last podcast, I wore my skull cap. I had a guy write me and say, you wearing that hat makes you look like a thug. You're showing thug life. I have 500, almost 600 videos. And none of them do I glorify thug life or shooting people or killing people or just being a thug or whatever that is, right? But he said, I'm a thug because I wore a hat in a video. Why is that? Because I'm black. If I was white, would I be a thug because I wore a hat? Can you as a white guy wear a baseball cap to go to the store? Yeah, you can, right? But look, I don't need to preach to you about it. I'm just telling you the reality. And what I'm saying is until we can be honest and open about these things, then we're going to have a problem. And another thing, let me add this in here, because this is my podcast. So why do I feel like I'm rushing? Because I want to upload it. Here's the piece. Some of these stereotypes, black people have them too about themselves. Okay? When I talk about these things, I'm not just talking to white people. I'm not just talking to Latinos, my Asian brothers, my Native American brothers and sisters. I'm talking about black people too. Black people are afraid of black people. Black people sometimes stereotype their own people based on clothes, you know? White guys, you get it too for things like wearing a biker's uniform. Imagine people always, perfect. Imagine people always thought you were a biker thug, even though you weren't wearing biker clothes. That's what it's like to be black. And I'm not saying don't feel sorry for me. This is the reality. We're already starting at a deficit, at a negative when it comes to perceptions. So, as Chris Rock would say, you know you got a pothole up there, right? First time you hit the pothole, that's on them. Fourth and fifth and sixth time you hit it, that's on you. Feel me? All right. All right, guys, I'm going to go on to the subject. Let's talk a little bit about Bill Cosby. Because Bill, man, this is more allegations have come out about Bill, and they've become even worse, if that was even possible.
Tonight, a fashion icon adds her voice to the chorus of women accusing Bill Cosby of drugging them.
The drug was very powerful. I mean, I was woozy, my speech was slurred. I knew that I was in danger.
Much like Cosby, Beverly Johnson has long been viewed as a transformative figure, the first black model to grace the cover of American Vogue. And tonight, she comes forward with damning allegations. Back in 1986, she says she was invited to rehearse at Cosby's New York home when he insisted on making her his special coffee.
In the second sip, I knew I had been drugged, and I had been drugged really good. At which time he placed his hands on my waist.
The supermodel says she started yelling and cursing.
He was getting angry, he was pissed, and he, grabbed me by my arm and dragged me down the brownstone stairs. He threw me in the taxi.
Since last month, more than a dozen women have come forward claiming they were drugged, sexually assaulted, or raped by Cosby, in most cases decades ago. Cosby's lawyers have dismissed the previous allegations, saying that accusers are coming out of the woodwork with fabricated or unsubstantiated stories.
These women gave me the courage to come forward.
But does it make it different for a black woman to come out accusing a black man?
This was the most difficult decision that I've ever made. I am, calling out a black man, a revered black man, and sometimes it's really hard to do the right thing. But this is the right thing to do.
Johnson says when she told friends, she realized this had been one of Hollywood's best kept secrets. She told me that she has no plans to take any legal action against Cosby. We reached out to his lawyers. So far, no response.
How many women is that now? Can I get a 10, 10, 10, 10, go 10, 10, 10, going once, going twice? I'll go 12 to the butcher, 12, 12, 12 to the 13, 13, 13, 14, 15, 15. Can I get 16, 16, 17, can I get 32, 32? Can I get 72? Damn it. I don't know how many women have accused Bill Cosby of doing some scandalous shit. And look, I've been hesitant to really, the first video I did on Bill Cosby in this situation, I joked about it. I thought it would go away. That was back when it was only like 7. So, look, I'm looking at this whole situation. I got to say, man, the likelihood that all of these women are fabricating, all these women are looking for the limelight, all these women are saying this to bring the man down, it's getting harder and harder for you to stick to that story. At least it should be, if you're reasonable. You gotta go like, it's sad. It's sad. It's the fall. But what's also sad, and we should look at it as sad as well, are these women who may have been, who are saying that this guy did this. Now he's that guy. He went from being Bill to the father that I wanted to be when I grew up. I used to watch Bill Cosby. When and I used to say that is the type of father I want to be. I want to emulate that. I want to make that type of money. I want to be able to provide that level of comfort for my family. I want to react and be that type of disciplinarian, one who does not use violence or harsh words. So when people slander Bill Cosby and they say these things, and when they slander you for supporting him, they don't take that into mind. They don't bear that in mind. But the reality is reality. This is where we are now, okay? Right now, it looks like something happened. At least to a couple of these women, regardless of what are you thinking, right? It had to. Some of this, though, I will say I'm pissed, or you're going to be pissed. I got to say, some of this sounds like people are being a little scorned for whatever reason. But all of these women, I can't put all of them in that bucket. Can't do that. Come on now. Come on, fellas. Come on. Come on. Keep it real. You can't say all these women are lying. All of them can't be just trying to get back at Bill. All right. So that's where I come up on that. Bill did some shit. And the sooner the sooner America accepts it, the sooner we can move on. Because Bill probably never say anything. If you 77 years old and you've been lying this long, if you are lying, why would you start talking now? I mean, what's the reason to talk now? It makes no point. And you got to believe that all of his advisors are saying, just keep it quiet. Don't say shit, Bill. They can't take the money away you already got. Just be quiet. Well, now they're going to try. They're going to sue his ass. I know that. Whoo, fall from grace, man. Hey, look, the role he played on the Cosby Show is separate from this guy right here. This guy, I don't know. But you can still be a good dad. You can still be a dad who don't talk with his hands. You can still be a father who's there for his kids and has a nice wife, a beautiful wife, who's accomplished, who you respect, who's doing the damn thing. You can still have all of that. So there's all of those things about Bill Cosby and the Cosby Show. You got that one weird kid, Lisa Bonet. All right, guys, look. I need you to go to Patreon and donate some money for my show so I can keep this going now. Need you guys to go do that. All right? And I need you to pick up my relationship book, The Truth Hurts, But It Beats a Lie. Pick that book up. Stop playing. It's a good book. I keep a real honest approach to relationship advice that you won't get anywhere else, because you know how I go, right? Just got to be honest. Got to tell you the truth. Got to make sure that there's no BS between us. It's not the type of relationship that we have. Have a relationship built on honesty. Time to let go of that motherfucker. Let him go. Time for you to step up your game. Step up your game. Which brings us to the relationship portion of the show. I'm trying to see, this is a real story I'm going to tell you. So I'm trying to think how I'm going to phrase it so that I do not indict a person who told me this, who I'm sure may be watching, right? A friend of mine got into an argument with his girl a lot. They used to argue all the time. They may still argue all the time, but I doubt it. But they used to argue all the time. And I was in the middle, I was witnessing one of these arguments. And I was like, man, this is crazy. So, they talk to each other in the old kind of way. That was one of the things I couldn't stand about their relationship. But she left, and I'm sitting there, and I'm talking to her, and I'm like, look, man, you know what she wants from you. We could see it. It's evident. She wants you to be more accountable. Now, this isn't just somebody you seeing. You live together and you have a child. Why not be more accountable to this woman? Why not put her mind at ease? I'm not saying you got to get married, but if you're going to be out past 4 o'clock, won't you call her? I mean, some of the shit you're doing, it just doesn't make sense. And he said, he looked me right in the eye, he said, I know she's right. I know what she wants, but I don't want to give it to her. Well, my job here is done. You're a dumb motherfucker. I mean, and I said, you know, there are people out there who know that somebody, the person they're with, they're spending time with, that they're investing time with, that they have a relationship with, that they're sharing a life with, they know what that person needs from them. But you withhold it because you don't want them to be right. She's right, but I don't want her to be right. That's what he said. She's right, but I don't want her to be right. But she's right. If she's right, she's right. It's too late to say you don't want her to be right. He didn't want to give her the satisfaction of getting what she wanted. And that's the same guy who'd be mad if he came home and her legs were in the air. He'd be upset. He would flip out, lose his mind. Or if he found out that, or if he came home and all her shit was gone and she was gone and the child was gone, he'd be like, I can't believe she did me like this. I can't believe she did me. But you just said you don't want to give her what she needs from you. Not because you're incapable of giving it. Not because she wants the biggest diamond that you could find on the planet on her finger. She's not asking for that. She's asking for you just not to run all over. And you're like, yeah, I could do that, but I ain't gonna do it. Fuck that, because then she gonna want something else, man. I give her that, she gonna want something else. Well, maybe you don't need to be with her. Because if you can't come to like agreements on things people need, and you gotta argue and argue and argue about it, maybe y'all not supposed to be together. It's possible. It's okay to break up. It is. But in their case, they wanted to be miserable together. She didn't want to leave him alone, even though he wasn't giving her what she really needed. So maybe she's like, hey, I don't really need it. I'll just be miserable. She's putting up with that only until she finds a replacement. She really wants that thing. And when that thing comes into her life, and it feels a little stable, like she's walking out on a ledge and like, how's that? Is that enough balance on that ledge? Is that good? Are we good here? She's going to go ahead and walk on with that. Very few women just jump and leave. Guys do that. Guys will get some good set. Oh, yeah. And they'll just stop coming home. But women, they'll sneak out there a little bit. Then they test the water. They make sure what they got is stable. Test them out a little bit. Act like all her money gone and she lost everything, and see what he'll do. Like, baby, my whole life just blew up. Hello, are you there? Well, baby, come on, I got you. Oh, okay. He'll keep her, girl. He'll keep her. See, I had to know. I thought you said your life blew up. Nah, I was just making sure you was for real. Before I step out here like that, I need to be sure that you're going to catch a sister. That's how women are, man. So guys, recognize that. But that's the lesson for the day, man. That's the tip for the day. Look, man. If you can accommodate, accommodate. If you don't want to accommodate, recognize it's an issue, because that's not how shit's supposed to work. You're not supposed to withhold things. Like sex, ladies. You're not supposed to want to do that. You're supposed to want to give to the person you're with. And if you don't feel like you want to give to them, you need to resolve that shit or someone else will. It ain't rocket science. It's just chemistry. All right, I'm Tim Black, a.k.a. Tim the Bartender. Hit me up on Facebook at facebook.com, Tim the Bartender Show. If you're listening to this on iTunes or Stitcher Radio, come to YouTube. Look up Tim's Take Live. One word, Tim's Take Live, and get the video. Video's got a lot in it that it's a full experience. And it's free, so why not get it? If you enjoy my podcast, you appreciate what I'm trying to do, which is combine entertainment with some news, with some stuff to think about, some commentary, social commentary, talk about it all. Consider donating monthly to my show. I don't make a lot of money doing this. I can really appreciate your donations at patreon.com, Tim's Take Live. Come to my channel on YouTube and you can find the link to it. If it's $3, $10, $100, small fortune, free car, whatever you can give, whatever you got, I'll be glad to accept it. Women's panties, whatever you got, no, keep the panties. But you know what I mean, right? All right, guys, I'll see you next week, same place, same time. The Barstool Podcast. And I'm out. Oh. And don't forget to go sign a petition. I got a petition I'm going to put in the link description here on YouTube. The Drunken Peasants. We've worked together in the past. Really good guys over there. Do me a favor. Sign the petition at change.org to get their channel reinstated. So if you're a friend of mine, be a friend of theirs and go sign that petition to get their channel reinstated. All right? I'd appreciate it. I'm out.
So say good night to the bad guy. Come on.